Welcome to the Boom Boom Room, y'all, where there's no topic too big or small, where we talk about it all. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Boom Boom Room. I am back with you. I'm Old Ashes, of course, and today I got with me a good friend of mine, Sketchney. How are you doing, Sketchney?
Hi, doing good. You?
I'm doing good.
Just too hot at the moment. It's
Yeah,
that kind of.
I'm pretty hot at the moment. And I apologize if it's real late over there, right now for you.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I'm normally up late. Like I say, even at this time, it's
Yeah,
really humid here today. So I've got
yeah.
my hope my fan isn't making too much
No,
noise
I
because
can't hear it. So what is it over
that's
there?
good.
Is it like fall, summer, or
It's
season? Or
summer, but yeah, it's summer, but it's been quite rainy this month.
yeah.
So, but it's still that the when it's a lot of cloud cover, but it's just humid, thick air kind of thing. So.
Oh yeah, I can't stand that. See, we've got a lot of right here where I'm in Arkansas. It gets real humid and you sweat a lot, and there's a lot of mosquitoes. When you go out, and you got to use this nasty
Oh,
spray.
yeah.
So
Oh,
it's as soon as you walk outside, you start sweating. And it's like you got to take 2 showers a
yeah,
day.
exactly.
It's just, but yeah, the reason why I asked that because I game with guys that's like from Australia, and they're like in the winter coming, so
Yes,
it's
yeah, they're the complete other side of the world.
right
Yeah.
to the other side of the world in the future. In the future, they are.
Yes. Yeah, 12, well, for you it's like 16 hours or whatever, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's always weird when they have Christmas in the summer, kind of thing.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, I always think about that. They're having Christmas in the summer, and there's no way I could think about like Christmas time in the summer. That'd be nuts. But
no, yeah.
yeah, yeah. I mean, you'll
It's what you
see.
grow up with though, isn't it? That's
Yeah,
the
it's
thing.
it's what
So,
you get used to and everything. But yeah, if you want to do a little like just a little brief bio about yourself, sketching. Is that all right? Is that what you want me to call you? Is that what most people call you?
sketch or sketchny, yeah.
It's Sketch. I'll just call you Sketch. It's probably a
That
little
that,
easier.
that person over there, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I, I, I mean, like you do, and I know you've talked about it before with other people on the podcast and that, but I do a lot of whatever I like on my channel. I love
Yeah.
movies, TV, gaming is probably my main one that I do on my channel, but I come at it as somebody from who's legally blind.
Uh-huh.
I come at it and try and show the highlight, show how accessible games can be or not, and
Yeah.
try and just highlight how that can help people sometimes with
Yeah.
making games more so everybody can enjoy it, kind of thing. So
Yeah. You don't mind me talking about it, but when you say like
no.
legally blind, or you just, I mean, do you do anything different as far as the monitor or whatever you play on, or how does that work?
I have to use because to explain how bad my sight is, I can't see out this eye, and this eye I have like 15%, so it's all very blurry, and I
Uh-huh.
have to sit very close to my monitor, and I use Microsoft magnifier, which just helps zoom in
Uh-huh.
um on sections, but it does mean I have to move around the screen a lot, which makes it a slower process.
Oh,
And
okay.
not all games like cooperate with Microsoft Magnifier. Like the second, because not all games back in the day when I first started playing DayZ, the Dark Ages I like to call it, because
Yeah.
I would have to manually. I didn't realize this was a thing. This is one of those, when you have to teach yourself.
Yeah.
I would have to manually click out of the DayZ window onto the magnifier, then manually zoom in, and then
Yeah.
click back into DayZ to be able. And that was just an awful process. But now I know you like you have to, in most games you have to set them to borderless window for them to actually let you use the magnifier at the same time. So
Okay.
yeah, and
Yeah.
now I have it hotkeyed and that. But yeah, it used to be it doesn't always work, but
Yeah,
It
yeah,
works for me.
yeah. Well, you don't mind me ask what how to do? Was it genetic or how do you?
Yeah, it's a very rare condition called aniridia. So I got it. My mum had it, and she got it from her dad. But before that, nobody in the family had it. And it just means, the iris. I don't have that,
Oh,
so
okay.
I'm sensitive to light, which is why my eyes look shut, even though they're not. So
Yeah. So did you? So ever since you was like a kid coming up, that's how it was.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, that's. I've had that since I was born, and I never wanted this to be a part of my channel when I was starting my channel
yeah,
now. I never wanted that to be a thing. And then I played Wolfenstein the New Colossus, which is a sequel to The New Order. And all of the German dialogue, the subtitles would come out. It was when my sight has deteriorated since I was younger. Um, but yeah, the subtitles come up and it was in this tiny, tiny writing, and it really made me one see how much my sight had degraded, but also it really made me realize that I had taken for granted what I could see while gaming, kind of thing.
yeah.
So that was when I realized that maybe it would be beneficial for me to start making that a part of my channel, kind of thing.
I got you. Well, I mean, that's the way, I guess you are, and God made you, and God don't make mistakes. Does it, you know how they say when someone's blind or whatever, it heightens your senses? Does it heighten any of your senses or at all?
My stupidity. No, unfortunately, and I guess maybe that's
Yeah.
because I'm not completely blind.
Uh-huh.
Maybe if obviously there was blackness, maybe that would.
Yeah.
But I am unfortunately I have tinnitus in my right ear, so I'm partially deaf in that ear. So yeah, that is not helping at all. But I
Yeah.
mean, yourself, it's you got
Yeah.
to adapt. You got to find ways to.
Yeah. You got to find ways to adapt, so somebody was complaining the other day, and I do, and I said, there's always someone that's, you complain about these things, and there's always someone that's wishing or praying that they were just as, uh, like things that was you thought this was really wrong with you. They wish that they had your, disabilities or
Oh
whatever
yeah.
besides theirs. So, it's not good to complain about things, but that's good that you don't. That you're happy and you want to game and enjoy yourself, and you don't use that as a crutch and stuff. But yeah, that fascinates me because I know I've seen you sometimes wear the patch. You don't wear the
Yeah,
patch all the time.
I had an operation recently on the eye, so that's why I had the patch on. But
Yeah, yeah, I've seen you wear that a few times and stuff, and but yeah, I enjoyed Merv. Having him on there and talking, and he told me that you were a big X Files buff, and
I thought it was funny that me and you both had the same UFO on our
yeah,
Discord.
yeah,
So
yeah. I'm into the UFOs too. Um, oh, Bob, you ever read on or on the deal about Bob Lazar? I,
I think I recognize the name, but I
yeah,
can't. I
look
could
it
not tell
up.
you.
He's one of the guys that said that he's seen the crafts and all of that. And there's a lot of people that believe him, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Wait, is he the aliens guy, the aliens meme guy, or is that somebody else? I
yeah,
can't
I
remember.
can't remember because I'm not really deep into it,
No.
and the way I believe in my faith, like some people think it's taboo to believe in aliens, but I do believe
Yeah.
in aliens and cryptids and stuff like that because you gotta keep an open mind with that. Even if you're an atheist or you are a believer, a Christian, whatever faith, I mean, they've got a lot of accounts of supernatural stuff they can't explain. But
Yeah.
yeah, I believe there's aliens. I don't know if they're where did he live or nothing like that stuff, or how did he got here, or he's still here, or nothing, because, or you know, because a lot of people believe we're actually in a matrix, a simulation. You know, there's a lot of different
Oh yeah,
people
yeah.
believe. I mean, I'm not saying that. You know, I'm not gonna sit here and make fun of them. I don't believe that personally, but some people believe that. We're all programmed and stuff, which I find it fascinating. I might watch something on it, like a show, but I don't, you know, exactly believe it. But yeah, the X Files. Is that probably one of your favorite shows? The X Files.
That is my favorite show. I would
Yeah.
also argue tied for that is the Twilight Zone, the 1960s Twilight Zone.
Oh yes,
Um,
definitely.
just the X-Files I love for the characters, for the Mulder and Scully dynamic, and the way it presents stories. You know, those kind of both the mix of
Yeah.
the kind of monster of the week episodes, and then the mythology. You know, as its own separate serialized. You know, because back then when that show first started, serialized TV really wasn't as big as it is now, kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, telling season long arcs, kind of thing. But I love the Twilight Zone just for its influence on storytelling and the way it would present morals and you know, topics of the
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
In so yeah, definitely those. But I mean, we were saying before you started recording about how, you know, you didn't used to watch that stuff, you know, or game and stuff like that. And for the longest time, I grew up as a kid who wore glasses. So the idea of being you know, deemed, and I was already bullied and had no friends in that. And, you know, I didn't want to be seen as a nerd, even though I was a giant
Yeah.
science nerd. I didn't want to be seen as a nerd and a geek. You know, when I was a
Yeah.
kid, liking things like sci-fi and that was such a taboo. And I just refused to acknowledge that I liked sci-fi. I refused to acknowledge that I liked any of that kind of. And it was only, I'm not even kidding, it must have been 20 years ago, probably. I was reading a list of, you know, like the top 20 sci-fi shows
Hmm.
ever or whatever. And I was literally going down the list and I was going, I like that. I like that. I like,
Yeah.
and that's when I had like my geek awakening, if you will, where I was just like, I am a geek, and I just accepted
Right.
it. And I've been so much happier, you know, kind of since, just
Yeah.
enjoying shows and movies
Yeah.
and all that stuff.
You know, you know, I don't believe in that at all, bullying. And I think personally, you know, I'm 48 years old. I think, way back then, you know, when I was younger, I think it was way worse bullying because, you know, it was not accepted, but it wasn't really told and out. There's more awareness about it now, you know,
Yeah,
and
they didn't talk about it back then at
no,
all.
and I remember being bullied. You know, I was the you know, quote unquote fat kid, and I was
Mm.
bullied. And then I remember I finally stood up for myself. And, you know, and then you know, I didn't care about being accepted because I remember when I was in school later on when I got in middle school that there was a few times that I would take up for the kids that was being bullied because I hated that. I did not like that at all. And
No.
you know, and but I didn't really when I was younger, you know, I'm talking about, you know, 10, 11, 12, 13 years old, I really worried about. But I remember when I got later on in teenage years, I didn't really care what people thought. You know, it got to that point, and of course now I don't care. I know I'm a geek, you know, nerd, and
Mm.
I just want to be happy and stuff and enjoy it. You know, but I think the Twilight Zone is a masterpiece. I really do. I haven't. I want to say that I've seen every episode, but I don't. I think there's a few that I've missed. And
Yeah.
what's special about the Twilight Zone in older movies, because I love older movies, is my dad, he had MS, multiple sclerosis, and he was handicapped and he didn't get around. You know, of course, he's in a wheelchair, and that was our time to bond. You know, when he
I was going to
was.
say, was that like a lot of your
Yeah,
memories based
yeah,
on that time with him,
yeah,
kind of thing?
yeah. We would watch a lot of older movies. He liked westerns, and he liked comedy movies and stuff. And you know, I remember we'd laugh and stuff. But yeah, that was our bonding, and he loved the Twilight Zone, you know. And yeah, I remember a lot of old, but there's these modern ones, like people. I don't know if you've watched it or heard about it, but there's
The newer one that Jordan Peele did. I've seen all of the remakes of the Twilight. I've seen the 80s one, did not like that. I
Yeah.
saw the one hosted by Forrest Whitaker, and I was like, and then I started. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was just,
No,
but
go
the
ahead.
the Jordan Peele one,
Yeah,
they did the with Adam Scott. They did the
yeah,
Terror at 30,000 feet or whatever, and I thought it was an interesting new take, and it was all right. And then the following episode had Kamal Nanjiani in as this like comedian, and again going downhill. The novelty of it
mhm.
started going down once they were doing their own stories. I felt like it went downhill, and then it got to the season finale, which was this very meta, bringing in this badly CGI'd Rod Serling in it, and I was like, no, and I
Yeah.
never tuned in for season 2.
No, me too. I didn't. That's what I was gonna tell you. I did not like that
Mm.
one. The '80s, I didn't care for that one. Now he had one in the early 2000s. I don't know if you
Yeah,
remember that. I don't. I didn't think for maybe Forrest Whitaker did.
I think that was the Forrest Whitaker one, but yeah, it was on like the Sci-Fi Channel or
Yeah,
something.
it wasn't that bad. I mean, it wasn't the
It
original.
was forgettable, but it was
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. But there's a series called Black Mirror that everybody loves, and I
Mm.
do. To be honest with you, me personally, I want to get your opinion. What's your opinion on have you watched it at all?
I have watched Black Mirror. I'm really curious what your thoughts on it are. I like I guess I like what it's trying to tell in that modern way that the Twilight Zone did, bringing
Yeah,
up current concerns or whatever and putting on. But again, the first season was great. Second season was, and then it just went down. There are spot, and I guess it benefits because they're like what 3 episode seasons or
yeah.
something. They don't it doesn't go on too long kind of thing. But I just think again. I don't know. I'm curious what you think, but for me,
Okay.
I just felt it started getting I felt like it was trying to go for that subversive kind of look what we can do, if you know what I mean, like showing off. And yeah, I got tired of it.
Exactly. It, plainly, I'm not I'm not really in depth about it, but but I think it's just a little too lewd for me.
Okay,
I'm
yeah.
not super old fashioned. Don't get me wrong. And as far as I'm not political at all. And
But did you feel it was a little too much on the nose
yeah,
with that stuff?
yeah, and I'm not. I had no problem if about people's rights or nothing like that at all. That's if they want to, because we're especially America. You got your freedom. You can do what you want. That's why I love America. But yeah, I think it was just more about that, and I just a little bit too lewd for me. Some of it, just too nasty. I don't like
Yeah.
anything that's over sexualized. I don't. Some of it was just yeah. I don't because anymore a lot of movies and even good movies they're gonna have them kind of scenes in it, but some are just taking it too far. And yeah, I don't. But I think it's okay, but I'm not particular nothing crazy over it, but I kind of
I
think
do
how you are.
wonder. Sorry.
No,
No, I do wonder how much they took advantage of the fact that they were on a streaming platform, and that was why maybe they went too strong with the adult content kind of
yeah,
thing.
that's probably why. I think so, cause like the little thing, Loving Robots, the cartoon. There was a few of them that was pretty cool and brilliant, but then some of them was just nasty out there and for cartoons. But yeah, I agree with you on it about how you think about it. But I mean, everybody was like, "Oh, you got to see it." It's just, but I'm like, dude, the Twilight Zone's way better. There's a lot more, shows that's better than this. But yeah, I didn't really care for it. But well,
Definitely, it was very technology based Twilight Zone, if you know what I mean. It was
yeah,
like
exactly.
technology's evil. This is the dangers of technology, and
Yeah,
that's great. For again, first season was amazing. 3 episodes, but after like episode 10, and it's still going. Technology's evil. Technology's evil. You're like,
yeah,
didn't we learn this like 6 episodes ago?
exactly.
Or something.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with you 100%. But I'll circle back around to this, and then I'll probably won't ask you about it no more. But the X Files, I've
No,
just started
yeah.
watching it. What's your favorite season of X Files? Which one?
Easily well, this is a tide. I do a series on my channel at the moment where I'm like tiering
Uh huh.
the episodes in each season. So I've been on a long rewatch kind of like, and but watching them not in the way I used to watch them in an entertainment sense, but in a more critical sense. I stand by my feeling. My favorite season has always been the sixth season,
Uh huh.
just from an entertainment point of view. Like the stories, they're not great, but there's just something about them that it's an hour of entertainment that is enjoyable kind of thing.
Yeah.
But if we're talking classic X-Files, where you've got the conspiracy stuff, and then easily season 2, you'll be coming up to the best season.
Yeah.
From just the atmosphere, that was season 2 when it was still being filmed in Vancouver.
Mm-hmm.
So it still had the forests and so much of that deep, atmosphere where they were filming at night,
Yeah.
and very little lighting and stuff like that. Season 6, it's their first year filming in Los Angeles, and they're showing off. They're like, look at the sunshine and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that. And you're like, that takes away from the feel of the, and back in the early days of the X-Files, and you'll discover this, it's a lot of, like based on myths, on the cryptids,
Yeah.
or stories about like, serial killers, like Ed Gein and stuff like that. Whereas by season 6, they've run out. It's kind of like, I don't know if you ever watched Mythbusters.
Yep.
Back in the day when they first started, they were focused on testing idioms and myths and all that stuff. And at some point they started doing myths of whether TV movies were possible, and
Yeah.
stunts in movies and that were possible in real life. And you're like, this isn't what this started as. And the X-Files, after they leave Vancouver, they've run out of a lot of those myths and cryptids and stuff, and they're just coming up with things like playing with genies, or repeat days and stuff like that. And it's still enjoyable, but it's definitely not the same as the early days.
Well, I don't want you to give me any spoilers, but is it just, it's not like all about aliens, is it? The
No,
series?
no, no,
Okay,
no, definitely
good,
not. No,
good. Because,
I think a lot of people, yeah, there's everybody everybody always thinks it's just the Alien show, but it's not just aliens. There
yeah,
is a through line. You'll get a couple, not in season 1, because they were still finding their footing with what they were
uh-huh,
doing, because they were taking inspiration from Kolchak, the Darren McGavin show from
mhm,
like the 70s.
yeah,
But they were taking a lot of inspiration, and this was back, what, 1993.
yeah,
What was on Fox TV at that time was very, network television was a lot more restricted on what they could show.
yeah.
Yeah, no, it does, they do start up, although you have a lot of that conspiracy thing. It does start threading in the aliens, but it's only ever, a couple episodes per season kind of thing.
Yeah, well, I enjoy watching it because I look at them and say, "Man, that's old looking." Because I was a teenager. I was a teenager back then, and
Mhm.
it does give me some nostalgia going watching it for the first time. Because
Yeah.
yeah, it really does.
Well, just the way it's filmed as well. That,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
the 35 mil, that slight
that look,
fuzziness to the
yeah.
screen.
Yeah, cause I can look at, like, I'm probably like you are probably like this too. You can look immediately and see what like decade something's filmed in. It's whatever.
Yes.
I mean,
Oh gosh, you watch Twin Peaks and you're like, this is
see,
easily not early 90s.
that's another show I've always wanted to watch. You know, Twin
Oh, have you not
Peaks.
seen that? Yeah.
No, I've heard a lot of people talk about it. Now, more recently, I've tried to watch Lost, and I just couldn't. I watched like almost one season.
Oh, you should have talked to Magic Merv about that on your podcast with him. He
I
loves
didn't
that
know
show.
that. I mean, I didn't get too much spoilers about it, but
I saw the final episode of that show. I never watched it while it was on.
Yeah.
I saw the season finale, and I was like, if I had been a fan of this show, I would have been so angry. That final episode just made me go.
Yeah, I heard a lot of people was angry, and that's just like people with the Sopranos, and I never watched the Sopranos when it came out, and I tried to recently watch it, and it was hard for me to watch it because I mean, I watch Breaking Bad. It's my favorite show of all time, and Better Call Saul.
Have you watched Better Call Saul?
Yeah, those two shows is probably my favorite of all time. And my son, he'll watch hours about videos on YouTube just about the show, just deep dive. And it's hard to watch The Sopranos after you don't watch Better Call Saul, because that's like the modern to me, and
pinnacle of writing on that show. It's just
oh yeah, the characters, oh my gosh, deep writing, it's just brilliant.
Breaking Bad I started watching because it was created by Vince Gilligan, who was a writer on The X-Files. So I knew his caliber of writing already. And I tuned in, when it first started, because I'd heard, via the X-Files fandom that he was working on this. And I watched, and it was so funny because then season 2, everybody picked it up. And by then I'd already watched, the first season of that. And everybody's going mad and this, that, and the other. And then that really picked that. I love that show. Better Call Saul blew. I don't know about you if you feel this. Sorry, I didn't mean to waffle.
No.
I'm getting tired of shows now that start out and then just cannot stick their landing in the final. Like, I was a massive Game of Thrones fan.
Yeah.
And then the final 2 seasons, awful.
Yeah.
I liked The Handmaid's Tale. It was an interesting concept to that, and I know that's probably outside of your interest, but again, was a good show the first season. Second season was okay, but again, gets to the end, and you're like, why am I even? I've gotten tired of that. But Better Call Saul, loved that from start to finish. It was the one show that I could say modern that I have not gotten, sick of, that it has kept me gripped the whole time.
Oh yeah, definitely. And like I said, the actors, just everything just fit perfect. Amazing. I mean, it was Better Call Saul was almost as good as Breaking Bad, or just as equal to me.
I've seen a lot of people say it's better, and I think if you take them as two very different shows, then you could say they're as good as one another. I don't know about you. I don't know if I could pick one or the other. I don't think one can exist without the other. That's the problem. But I've to take actors predominantly known for comedic roles. Bryan Cranston did a serious role on The X-Files, and that was why he then got picked to be in Breaking Bad, because he was in a Vince Gilligan episode in season 6, actually. And then Bob Odenkirk, who was known for his comedic stuff and that. To put them then in very serious roles, it just goes to show. I mean, Michael McKean as Chuck in Better Call Saul. Again, I mean, he's done a wide range of stuff, but his role in that, I hated Chuck but in the way that you're supposed to, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, exactly. It just all fit perfect, and I hated Chuck, but then I felt sorry for Chuck, you know what I'm saying? Because, that's what I'm saying. The way it was,
but that's how good the writing was.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was written that way that they seem more human, you didn't just hate them. You seem like, every character, Even the main
Yeah, even the
villain.
worst people,
Yeah,
you could see the other side.
you see goodness in them, even though, I mean, there was some just 100% evil, but yeah, you seen, and, to see though, Breaking Bad, his character, Walt's character,
Mm,
doing it for the right reason. He was doing the wrong thing for the right reason, and then the power trip got him, and
yeah.
the evolved evolution of the character was just amazing. It really was. But I tell
But
you,
even a character like Gus.
huh.
Oh, sorry, no, Karen.
No, go ahead, go ahead.
I was just going to say, even a character like Gus, who is awful, like an awful person, and even
Yep.
in Better Call Saul, they show that as a child he was a little psychopathic, with the story about the cat and stuff. But when you see his partner get gunned down
Yeah.
at, the Salamanca thing and that, and you see that breaks something in him, that only good
Yeah.
thing that he had in his life.
Yeah.
Again, it adds so much dimension to that character kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. It really did. I tell you I can't think of his name, but the guy that does a lot of writing, wrote Yellowstone.
Oh, yeah.
He was the one that was in the biker show. I got bad memory. It was out.
Oh, what, Sons of Anarchy?
Yeah, he was the guy that was the police officer, and then he got fired, off the show, and that's when he wrote Yellowstone. I wasn't crazy over Yellowstone, because I watched
Yeah,
it.
I've never seen Yellowstone. I've seen adverts for it,
All right,
but not seen
I
it. I
can't
don't know
think of
how to
his
get it
name.
here.
Yeah, I can't think of his name, but anyway, he's wrote. He's been involved in a lot of shows and a lot of movies. But he done one called Landman, Mayor of Kingstown, and he's done spin-offs of Yellowstone, and they've been way better than Yellowstone. But he's a great writer, He's good.
Right, yeah.
If you ever get a chance to, I think it's on Paramount, but he's a great writer. He's one banger after another, the shows that he's bringing
Yeah.
out, and. And another one that I think's a brilliant writer, and I don't know if you agree with me, is Guy Ritchie. He does great movies.
Okay, yeah.
He does great
I've
movies.
never been into his movies, but I know he gets a lot of for the Lock, Stocks and
Yeah, now like some of them I'm not really crazy over. Of course, Snatch I really like, but he's got one that he's involved with Mobland, it's really good. Tom Hardy's one of my favorite actors.
okay, yeah.
Yeah, Tom Hardy, but it's really, really good, that series. And it's got some good writing in it. Is it perfect? No. But it's got some, you see that brilliant writing and twisty, because I think a thriller, I don't know if you agree with me, I think a thriller's on the line of a horror movie and science fiction. It's like to me, a thriller can all be in one, if that makes sense.
Yeah. It could be so many different things,
Yeah.
kind of.
That's kind of what a thriller is. But okay, let's get into talk about games now.
Yeah.
Well, let's get this. What was the how old is your channel, and why did you start it? Gaming.
My channel's at like oh god, like 761. I've 761 at the moment. So it's coming along, but I mean, as
Yeah.
I do it it's a hobby for me.
Yeah.
I started out it sounds so I started out because as you do, you start out your account just to watch other stuff and comment and whatnot. But
Yeah.
at the time, this was like 16 years ago or something like that. I was watching. There was this website that had like it was called that guy with the glasses. They changed it into Channel Awesome, but they had all these different creators, like commenting on movies and games and stuff. And I was already doing that when I would watch or play stuff. I would make silly comments and I was like, oh, and they would do like crossover videos with each other. And
Hmm.
that sense of community, I didn't have friends and that. And I was like, that would be awesome if I could, you know, do that kind of thing where that I'm already doing and then maybe find friends and stuff like that. And I just, unfortunately, then I sat down to start wanting to write and create proper essay videos about movies. And I
Yeah.
realized I just couldn't. I struggle sometimes with explaining myself probably, you know, properly in a coherent kind of way. And I just realized that what I was doing wasn't interesting, you know, when I was scripting stuff and that. And um yeah, and then I just started doing different things. You know, I tried the whole vlogging thing, you know, just I'd moved as well. So at the time I was setting up home and stuff. So
Yeah.
it was more for my Facebook friends really that I started doing the videos originally. But then yeah, I just started reviewing movies and doing the gameplay. Originally I didn't do the streaming stuff, but
Yeah.
I grew in confidence with doing that kind of thing. So,
Yeah.
but I've done so many different things and that over the year. You know, you're always trying to, you know, as you've said, you know, about the algorithm and that, and you do. I'm not here to make money or whatever. For me, I would love to get to 1,000 subscribers so I could do a charity stream,
Yeah.
you know, to have that opportunity to do that kind of thing. But for me it's a hobby. I love the creativity. I'm a very creative person, so you know, doing editing and stuff like that. But
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. You know, where I don't work because of my health, and I enjoy it. It's because it keeps me busy, you know, too. You know, me
yeah.
personally, I don't, you know, I'd be really, really bored. I'd be watching probably movies all the time, but,
Yeah.
you know, and I'd probably be gaming because, you know, I've not my life has not been perfect. You know, I haven't been the best person in the world. You know, it's times that, you know, I've been out in the world and I was a drug addict. You know, and I've been clean and sober probably almost 9 years, almost 10, and I think
Oh, that's
that
amazing.
yeah, and I think that I got back into gaming probably 20. I think it was 2018 because I gamed a lot when I was a kid, but you
Mm.
know, and anyway, everything worked out. I couldn't afford a PC. My son built it for me, like for a Christmas present a few years ago, and you know, I got a good kid. I call him a kid. He's
You didn't do
27.
console gaming before that?
No,
You
well, I
weren't interested
did.
in
Yeah,
consoles?
yeah. I had an Xbox. You know,
Oh yeah.
I think that I bought in 2018. I couldn't afford it. I found a 360 on Marketplace. You know, it's all I could afford, and then I ended up getting an Xbox One. Now, back in the day, you know, I was a PlayStation guy, but anyway, I started, you know, messing with Xbox. That's all I could afford, and finally,
Yeah.
I got an Xbox One. And then when my son built me this, you know, I was uploading videos before I had the PC 2 years ago, because I said I'm going to start a channel, you know, just for the heck of it. I mean, I'm gaming, I might as well upload videos. So
Might as well. Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
so I started uploading videos from Xbox, and you know, they didn't have any you know, commentary or nothing because you know, the way it was. But anyway, and then
Mm.
it's been 2.5 years. You know, I won't go into super details, but that's when man, I didn't know anything. I still don't know anything about PCs, like going live and
Oh,
OBS. Man, I had to Google everything. I had some friends help me, you know, but I mostly I had to figure it out on my own. But anyway, I'm
a lot of that
glad.
stuff you do, you know,
Yeah,
but thankfully there's YouTube videos, I guess. But yeah.
yeah. But I'm like editing. I'm still learning about that. I enjoy it, and I've noticed about videos. It doesn't matter to me if I edit a lot or if I don't. It gets about the same views, and I'll tell this example. I'll quit talking about myself because I'm supposed to be interviewing you.
No.
Um, I just recently started playing 7 Days to Die a lot, and they got a major
Oh yeah.
update coming out. Experimental drops Monday, but on the 30th, stable version drops for everybody. And
Yeah.
the Fun Pimps, that's the name of developers. They said if it's streamer weekend, okay, and you qualify if you got over 2.5
Oh yeah,
subs.
you told
Yeah,
the story to Merv about the
yeah, I told,
500 whatever regular.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then have like 500 views, and then I go to check it out, and I barely missed a window. I was so disappointed,
Wow.
because of the views,
Could you not even contact them to ask?
I
I
didn't. I
guess I
just
don't
didn't even
know.
mess. I
Just
didn't even
wasn't.
mess with
Yeah.
it. I was close on TikTok now because I think I've got almost 200, subscribers on TikTok. Like TikTok, I don't even care about, or Instagram. It's just so easy to upload my shorts to it.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
just upload it and whatever. But most views I've got on other things, like cultural little memes. But I don't waste a lot of time on is what I'm saying, or I don't care for TikTok. It's just for me. It's just for younger people, I guess. But another question: is there any? What is your favorite game? And is there any games you look forward to playing in the future?
My favorite games are Portal 2, which is a
Uh
puzzle
huh.
game. Um, I love the puzzles. The Portal games generally are very good at easing you in. They start out with very beginner level and then they crank up
Mm-hmm.
the difficulty as you go along, so you can learn the mechanics easily. But Portal 2, not only does it have great puzzles again, but it adds upon the previous title with new mechanics and stuff. The storytelling in that game is amazing, and they added you've got extra Stephen Merchant and J.K. Simmons as voice acting in that game, and it's just so I have played that game so many times. The Last of Us would be
Yeah.
my second favorite game. I've played that way too many times, and it had an amazing multiplayer part on that game as well.
Yeah.
And probably Alien Isolation
Uh
would be
huh.
my third favorite. Just the tension in that and the gameplay and stuff. I'm looking forward to Alien Isolation 2. I'm so glad that's finally happening, because for the longest time they were like, that's not happening because the first game didn't sell well.
Yeah.
So the fact that's happening, Death Stranding 2,
Uh huh.
I'm looking forward to. There's a game called Judas. I don't know if you've heard of it.
Uh.
It's been developed by the guy Ken Levine who created BioShock. But it's been supposed to be released for years now, so I think
Uh-huh.
everybody's joking that it's not going to happen. But
Yeah.
of course, as well, GTA 6, but that's a long way off. So
Yeah. I remember when the original BioShock dropped. I really liked that game. I did.
I love that game.
Yeah. That
Have you
was.
played the other ones, or?
No, I haven't played. It's just I feel like that ship has sailed. Like Merv said, there's just some games that it's you wish you would have played them at the time, but they're gone. It's not there
I don't
anymore.
know. We it's different on PC, I guess, but I feel like
True.
games you can pick up any time now, a lot of the time, unless it's on console, and it's an older game. But I do, and I guess you find this as well with like your videos, making videos and stuff. You do find some games you have to play within a certain window if anybody's going to pay attention to the video, kind
Yeah,
of thing. So,
yeah. I mean, I've got to a point though. I've never really. I mean, it sucks when I put a video out and then I only get like 80, 90 views. Me personally,
mm,
because if I can get over, I don't know, over 500 views, I'm happy. But
well, again, you need that
uh,
for that kind of opportunity to get those early access, those
yeah,
streamer access
exactly.
stuff and whatnot.
Exactly. And that's not even killing it, I mean, at all. I just want to like you said, get that to that point. But I mean, it's not the end of the world. I wanna enjoy myself, whatever I play, you know.
Mm.
I really do. It's not about because if I was out for the money part of it, I probably wouldn't even be streaming. I'd probably be doing on my channel real crimes or something, or
Yeah, yeah, I
something
was gonna say,
different,
yeah, happening.
something. Because if it was for about the money, it's not about the money. I just want to enjoy myself because
No,
it's been a great journey for me. I've met a lot of good people, long life friends, just like I've had the opportunity to meet Merv and you, like starting this channel,
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't care if it, whatever. I mean, when I see it steadily getting, it's up to 145 or something now, I'm enjoying it. You know what I mean? It's a journey. So,
Yeah.
you know, um,
But you can hear it when in your gameplay and that. You can hear
yeah,
when you're enjoying the game or
exactly.
whatever. If you're forced to, and this is why I just play what I feel like playing. If
Um,
there's a game that's come out and I've picked it up, I'm like, okay, let's go check this out and see. But once you get into that kind of, oh, I need to, there's a new Five Nights. I mean, I will play certain games that are coming out, that are popular, but I want to play
exactly.
them because, as you said, like with DayZ and that. DayZ is so overpopulated with streamers.
Yep.
Finding
Yep.
your niche there is so difficult. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's. I mean, I've had video. I get. I won't lie. I get frustrated. There are videos that I will work on, editing wise and stuff
Yeah.
for weeks. I had this. I made an April Fool's Day video. An X-Files related April Fool's Day video. I worked on it for a year. Just the sheer work on it was done, and it did not do what I had hoped. It
Yeah.
barely got response. I had one of my subscribers, an X-Files fan, commented on it, and we had a nice discussion. But otherwise, nothing. And my friends commented on that. Or regular
Uh-huh.
subscribers, but no other X-Files fan response. And I found it disheartening. I put so much blood, sweat, and tears into it. And I've had that with other games where I will make a video, but then there's other, and as sometimes you'll put a lot of work in and you'll get nothing. And then there'll be other times where you put zero effort, you just record it, put it out there,
Yep.
and it'll just blow up kind of thing.
Yep, exactly. And that's what I'm saying. It's hard not to get emotionally involved because I've said this and probably on every video. I know of a lot of people that just give up. And that's what separates the winners, and I don't want to say losers, but the people that give up because we're still sticking in there, both of us.
Well, I guess it
Yeah.
depends on your intent. I think,
Yeah.
unfortunately, some people come into YouTube and go, I'm going to be famous. I'm going to make
Yeah.
all the money. Whereas there's those of us that are just like, I just want to hang out with you guys. I just want to,
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
me, when I refer to my channel on the chat and stuff, I'm always like, we'll do this, we'll do that. Because for me, it's me and the people in the chat that are making it an experience, if you know what I mean. So,
Yeah, it's about having fun and to me and meeting people and stuff. And I don't care about getting stuff like people knowing me and all that. Like I said, people. I mean, it's fine if they want to do a channel for that and
oh,
they're
yeah, yeah.
chasing they're chasing paper and fame. That's their business. But that ain't what I'm about because you'll get disappointed real quick. And I don't care who you are. You might be a in tune guru that meditates 24 hours a day. You're gonna get disappointed sometimes, because
Well, like you,
yeah,
I can't work due to health
yeah,
outlet, and it is very easy to feel, and me, I don't have much, in my life, family wise or friend wise and that. So for me, it can be easy to get disheartened, but
mm-hmm,
um at the same time, I'm just like, look, I'm just here to, but yeah, like you say, unfortunately, there are some people that are too and good for them. If that's what
yeah,
they want to do, then great. But I've seen it happen with Magic Merv, even that he's been like, right, if it doesn't take off within X amount of time, then I'm
yeah,
quitting. And it's like, you can't do that. I mean,
no,
obviously, he has a job, he has a life, this, that, and the
yeah,
other. So he has to balance his time. But unless you're doing that, then I think some people give up too easily, kind of thing.
yeah. Well, I've got friends, I'm not gonna name them, but I've seen them, and they've got like almost 8,000 subs, and there's like they almost giving up, I'm giving. I mean, yeah, I was like, dude, you've been doing it, 4 or 5 years, whatever, and I wouldn't give up now. I mean, but yeah, I understand frustration. It's just human nature.
Yeah.
That's why I don't do things like I used to. I don't put so much effort in. Now, if I want to put effort into a video and do like a lot of editing, fine. But I don't like saying, "Man, this is gonna be the one." I just go with the flow and stuff like that. But you just gotta, enjoy yourself. But what do you see for your channel in the future, in the near future? I mean, you got any expectations at all, or
No,
you
I,
just riding
I
it
don't know. I
out?
might have been. Again, I've been on this platform for so long. You get
Yeah,
to that old person kind of lost hope. I genuinely, I would like to meet. Again, it's not about being partnered with YouTube or anything like that. Again,
yeah,
it's not about money, but I would love to get to the 1,000 mark just to say I did it, just to say I was able to do it. And
yeah.
again, I would love to do charity streams
Uh-huh.
and stuff like that. I would love to get like you. I would like I a couple years back I played a very small game by some developers at University of California called Try Again. And I did a video on it. Just I made comments about like visually the accessibility of it and stuff like that. And the developers actually watched my video and put a comment and said, "Thanks for your comments. We'll take some of what you've said into consideration."
Uh-huh.
And I would love to get that kind of opportunity where, you get sent keys, early
Yeah.
and stuff like that to get to be able to review games. That would be awesome. That would be the dream
Yeah.
kind of endpoint kind of thing to be able to do that and but again, that's from a creative standpoint kind of thing. So
Exactly. Is there any kind of bouncing off subjects here and there, but is there any series or anything or movies that you've been watching recently that's really, really good?
I have, again, as we've said, I can't say I've watched much recently that has really stood out in my must watch this
Yeah.
kind of because I have gotten a little fatigued with a lot of, the whole streaming services and
Uh-huh.
all, the sheer amount of content out there, and just how much some of those shows have not landed. It's been disheartening with how, bad they've gotten at their end kind of thing. And when you've invested years into that show and then it just doesn't stick it.
Yeah.
I have enjoyed the TV the TV version of the Last of Us games.
Yeah.
I do recommend that. My only issue is a lot of the best bits about it have literally been lifted shot for shot from the game,
Yeah.
to which you're like, what's even the point?
Yeah.
And then the bits that aren't based on the game are easily the worst and more, most boring kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't say there's anything that's so bad. I can't say there's anything really that stands out in my recent memory about, we used to have, appointment TV, week after week, and now it's just
Exactly.
like we don't have that anymore. So what
Yeah.
about you? Is there anything, like, for me, it's all older stuff. I'll go watch, an old series or something more
Yeah,
than a
it's
new one.
mostly older ones. You know, I've watched everything in the Walking Dead universe,
Oh, excellent.
and
Yes, I do love The Walking Dead. Yeah.
even the spin-offs have been all right. This
I haven't seen
this
World Beyond, though, because you can't get that here in the UK.
World Beyond, it's pretty decent. It's worth watching. The Fear of
Okay.
Walking Dead. I've just recently, in the last year, actually watched that whole series, and it was
I'm only
really.
on, like, season 2, so yeah.
Oh,
Is it good?
yes, it gets better. Because the first
Okay.
season when I first watched it was slow, and then
Mm.
so it's got pretty good character, in it, development. It's yeah, so it's good. It gets it's not The Walking Dead, but it's pretty darn good. And
Yeah.
now the
I am
second
looking forward to season 2 of Dead City, and season, was it 4 of Daryl Dixon? So
I think it'd be season 3 of Daryl Dixon.
3 or what?
Yeah.
Yeah, whichever. Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna. I don't know if I should tell you this or not. Well, I'm not gonna give you any spoilers, but I've been watching season 2 of Dead City, and
Oh yeah.
I'm a little disappointed.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a little. It's just like the writing. Just it's not awful, but it's just like they not putting a lot of effort like they did in the first season. I don't
That's
know.
what I mean.
Yeah.
That's what I mean with these shows.
They're not
They
putting
start out
effort.
so good, and you put your time in, and then it's like, oh, we can't be
Yeah.
bothered anymore.
Yeah, that's how, and I'm not, because Negan, is one of my favorite characters, and my dad was, but my dad was handicapped, and he was 6'3", real tall, and my dad and Negan are like totally twins, My dad
Yeah,
was,
right.
that's how my dad looked, and but Negan, I mean, I'm talking about teeth, everything, hair.
Oh, really? The
yeah,
whole attitude
everything,
and that.
almost a
Yeah.
twin. And I don't know about the attitude, but but
Oh no, yeah. But the look, yeah.
yeah, but the look, he looked a lot like him, but and body type, but a great character. I think Negan's probably one of my favorite ones out of it. But yeah, I'm not gonna tell you it's just awful, but yeah, to me it's just a character. They could have put more effort in it, And I'll be honest with you, the first season with Daryl Dixon, I was a little disappointed, but it was all right. But the second season to me was better. I don't know. No, it sounds weird, but it's still good. But there's just so much they can write about, man. It just, it is. I mean, it really is. But I can't.
I will say, I don't think showrunner Scott Gimple on those shows has not helped. Because he made the main series worse, and he left, and the show got better. But then he went off onto the spin-offs, and he's just dragged those down. So
exactly, and when I know you kind of know the story about the first, was it the writer or director of first season or two? He got fired.
Oh, Frank Darabont he got fired because they wanted to cut his budget and everything. Yeah,
and then the old man, they had the RV.
Jeffrey DeMann, who paid Dell.
Yeah, he quit, and they just wrote him out, deaths or whatever. But man, that was brilliant too. I don't. It wasn't the best series ever made, but it was really, really good. Because I remember where I was at the first episode I watched. I remember who I was with, and because I was always a zombie fan, and I remember I was in Kansas. I was working. I was with my son and my first cousin, and we was fixing to watch it. And because we've been watching, I think, the Pacific. That series first came out or something on HBO, and we was watching that at the same time. And anyway, it was fixing to premiere the first episode of Walking Dead. And he's like, man, I don't know about this. I said, you know what? His name was Henry. I said, I'm going to tell you something, Henry. I said, this show, unless it's just total trash, because we haven't watched it yet, this will be a hit. I think it'll be a hit. He said, there's no way. I said, there's nobody's really done a series about zombies, And then after we watched the first episode, I said, yeah, man, it's going to be a hit. He said, no, it's not going to be a hit. Then I watched like 2 or 3 episodes, and I'm saying, dude, there's just so much they can do with it. And, so,
they pushed the boundaries of what they could show on television kind of thing.
It was a lot of gross scenes, I've never really seen that before. I tell you, a show that I seen recently. I just got to tell this. Okay, I never watched the show The Accountant. I don't know if you've ever watched that movie, The Accountant.
No,
Um,
no.
I forget his name that's in it. Can't think of him. Ben
I don't think I've
Affleck.
heard of it.
Ben Affleck.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
and what it is he's got what do you call it? It's not a disability or anything, autism or something. And
Okay. Yeah.
anyway, I don't want to really tell the story. It's worth watching the first one, and he becomes like a hitman, and he grew up in. He's got it. He's kind of special, whatever. And it's a brilliant show. The first one, I mean, brilliant. Okay, the second one comes out, total trash, man. Awful. Because it's an action movie and stuff like that. Awful. Just, it was like something that was back in the 80s, like the A-Team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
last,
That kind of classic. Yeah.
I mean, it was just so simple. Nothing was brilliant about it, which that was fine back then. It was just the way that the movie was, the last action scene, the showdown was just, there was nothing, no effort put in it. It was a disappointment.
Really.
But yeah, you talk about the movies and stuff. I mean, the series that disappointed, that was one disappointment. Definitely. But I was going to tell you, I was going to say this before I end it, Sketchy. I definitely would love to have you back on here because
Be awesome. I think there's a lot we could talk about.
yeah,
But
because
yeah.
I do like talking about it. And I know we just kind of bounced around on a few subjects, but maybe next time we can like focus on one thing, because and then you know what I mean. Maybe a
Yeah.
certain subject. Not that I didn't enjoy it, I'm enjoying it, but I know that I'd love to have you back again. Be reoccurring because I could tell that you're into pop. I don't know if you want to say pop culture or whatever. But
Yeah. There's a wide range of stuff, like you say, movies and TV and stuff like that.
yeah,
So.
we never even got in talking about Star Wars or not. So maybe next time.
Yeah, let's get into the debate about Star Wars or Star Trek. We'll be here for hours.
Yeah, exactly. But let me let me end this, and I'll still talk to you in the lobby and everything. But I do appreciate you being on here, and
Thank you for having me.
And I hope that you will come back. I'd really like that, to have you back on here. But I'm glad Merv told me to get a hold of you. Really did.
Thank you.
Yeah. But anyway, everyone out there in YouTube land, I appreciate you guys hanging out. But until next time, everyone, hey, and go over and check her channel out. I will leave her in the description of the video. I will put her link in there or the comments. But yeah, check Sketchy's channel out, guys. She is entertaining. But I appreciate it. Until next time, everyone, peace out.